The lightsaber is arguably the most iconic weapon in all of fiction. From the colors to the sound effects, it's the one piece of technology that even the most casual fan can instantly associate with the Star Wars franchise. The signature weapon of the Jedi and the Sith. The only ones capable of wielding a device this magnificent to its fullest potential. And throughout the years, we have seen the devastating effect of this weapon. From destroying blaster doors, severing limbs, to reflecting lightning. Even a Jedi Master is no match for its power. But just like with the characters and the world building, Disney somehow manages to ruin everything it touches.
Have you come to destroy me,
What?
Obi-Wan?
You're the one that arrived here! What the fuck? Here?
Not just the iconic weapons, treating the lightsaber like a magic bat rather than a plasma weapon, but the concept of damage itself. As we have now seen Fennec survive in the desert with no stomach. The Grand Inquisitor surviving getting stabbed by a lightsaber because he was too angry to die. Reva surviving a lightsaber to the stomach, twice. Obi-Wan is immune to the effects of fire, and Mando is basically an immortal being at this point. Seeing characters take serious damage and having consequences for their actions is essential to creating stakes, whether it's the heroes or the villains, and can give us an opportunity to explore their character further and see their ability to adapt under pressure. But Disney has made it their sole mission to remove any kind of tension or immersion from this franchise, and we are once again forced to watch a main character brush off a fatal injury like it's a fucking paper cut. In the first episode of Ahsoka, in the fight between Sabine and Darth Blondie, and I want to take this chance to compare this scene with one that actually respects its audience and characters. Savika vs. Vi in Arcane.
Inmate 2135. Yeah, I'm afraid that's not possible.
Why not?
Well, there's been an incident.
What kind of incident?
The not so pretty kind.
Who assaulted him?
Who the hell are you?
After being wrongfully locked away and spending years in prison with no information on her family, Vi is desperately trying to find her sister Jinx, who she hasn't seen since they were kids, after it's brought to her attention that Jinx might be a suspect in recent terrorist activity by a rookie enforcer by the name of Caitlin.
You attacked an inmate. Why?
Why not?
He was a witness in an ongoing investigation.
Bummer.
This was a waste of time.
Couldn't have put it better. Hey, give Silco a kiss on that winning eye of his, will you?
Does this mean anything to you?
Where did you get this?
Caitlin is out of leads and desperate to prove herself, so she secretly releases her from prison, hoping that she might be able to help solve this case, while Vi takes full advantage of this desperation to try to get out and find her sister.
I need proof if I'm to believe what you're saying about Silco.
I could get it for you. Just not from in here.
In what mad world would I trust someone like you?
Someone like me? You enforcers are all the same, just asshole criminals in fancy uniforms.
Vi and Jinx's parents were killed by the enforcers, so the idea of working with one of them is out of the question. But Vi will do absolutely anything to find her sister, especially after the events of their last meeting. They both have no other option but to use each other, even though they don't trust each other, and we slowly get to see them gain mutual respect, and get a sense of the differences between them, as Vi cleverly tracks down information and takes the time to test Caitlin. Their search leads them to a bar where Vi finds her old rival Savika, one of the people most likely to have answers. And it's moments like this that I love to reference when it comes to show don't tell, as there's many different ways to approach getting information from an enemy. But Arcane never misses an opportunity for character development, and we are immediately reminded of how Vi handles business.
Vi? You filthy traitor.
Vander had his chance.
A quick set of lines to recall the history they share before Savika reveals her new arm. Vi, being the savage that she is, decides to test it out and immediately regrets her decision.
I see you never learned patience.
And after getting a taste of her strength, Vi immediately adjusts, landing shots to the body and focusing on countering Savika's attacks. Vi has been trained in boxing since she was a child, and the difference in their skill is way too much for Savika. So she makes her own adjustment, going back to her real advantage, using her arm to bully Vi and lock her down. They both struggle to regain their breath, and as Savika makes her assault, Vi cleverly lures her into a corner where she's less free to swing her robotic arm, and takes advantage of her environment to even the odds. Vi wins the fight and then demands answers. And once again, her sister Jinx, the one thing that would make her work with an enforcer, is also the one thing that would break her focus in this moment.
Where's he keeping her?
Keeping her? You mean Jinx? She works for him.
And she finds out that her sister has been adopted by the man who ruined her life.
She's like his daughter.
Caitlyn saves her life with a well-timed shot. A beautiful irony when you consider the fact that Vi told her that she wouldn't be able to survive in the Undercity without her. But unlike most modern stories where the drama stops there, we see Vi suffering from blood loss and Caitlyn has to save her life for the second time, even being forced to trade her weapon to help get medicine, further developing their bond.
I know you have your reservations about me. This only works if we can trust each other.
It doesn't work. It never has. You topsiders always find a way to screw us.
I suppose Topside is to blame for all your misfortunes.
Not all of them.
A fantastic start to a complex relationship, but why is it well written? One of the reasons I chose this scene is not only does it result in realistic consequences for our main character, but it's also a grounded approach to a sci-fi fight, something that Disney Star Wars has long forgotten. Rather than just watching Vi break her fist punching metal, she falls back to her boxing training and works her way around the problem, gauging her distance with a jab and landing uppercuts on the inside. And instead of just turning off Savika's brain, she's smart enough to adjust and abuse her advantage. And through that, we quickly get a sense of their personalities and skill sets, and a reminder of their personal drama, all in the span of 2 minutes. The amount of value that you get out of each scene is one of the many reasons Arcane is so beloved. And something as simple as a stab wound is still treated with the respect it deserves, and used to create drama going forward instead of being ignored.
The sister. She's back.
From the dead.
Now, let's compare that to Ahsoka. Unlike Arcane, that only had the ridiculous lore of League of Legends to work with and still managed to create magic, Ahsoka and Sabine have an entire history thanks to Rebels and Clone Wars. But in all the years that Disney has owned this IP, they have refused to innovate. And just like how we started, with a mission to find a map to find Luke, now, almost a decade later, we're on a mission to find a map to find Thrawn. Same shit, different story. So Ahsoka enlists the help of her former apprentice, Sabine, a young Mandalorian, to help figure out the puzzle and read the map. And we see them reunite after implying some kind of fallout. A great opportunity to flesh out their characters, their history, provide us some type of information to stay invested, understand who these two are and what they mean to each other. And instead, we get a long, awkward pause, and they have Ahsoka tell us the one fucking thing we already know. This is textbook Disney Star Wars, taking 10 years to say nothing and provide us with as little substance as possible, and finding new and innovative ways to damage their characters or waste their potential. As we see Ahsoka tell Sabine that the map stays here, but then walks away and leaves it in her hands, and is somehow surprised when she steals it. It does nothing to further their bond or give us insight into their backstories. All it does is make Ahsoka look like a dumbass when we're still trying to get to know her. So Sabine takes the map home to try to figure it out, as it's the only clue to finding her friend Ezra. But she's tracked by the evil blonde, doing her absolute best to rip off Darth Maul. And after kindly giving Sabine just enough time to solve the map, she sends in the droids and the battle begins. Now, we've seen so many examples of just how stupid it is to punch metal. A fast and fun way to ground a fight scene and force a character to adapt and work their way around the problem. But when the Force is female, none of that shit matters, as the 90-pound Sabine punches a droid in the head and rocks him with a spinning back kick, knocking the wind out of him. Makes no fucking sense. Then Sabine gets grabbed from behind by another droid, giving the first one a chance to catch his breath and get back up. And instead of just turning around and finishing her off, he decides to go inside and finish the mission. Now I can't blame this droid for following protocol and securing the map, but then he just fucks off and walks away, leaving them to hug each other. Bye! Then it just cuts back to the droid, still trying to grab her boobs. So Sabine takes advantage of this distraction and reaches all the way behind both of them to shoot him in the leg, and then the gun magically lands in front of them so Sabine can finish the job and make her escape. She drops the rifle that she's trained with and just fought for, and picks up a lightsaber that she barely knows how to use so we can get our next scene. And instead of just hopping on her ship after accomplishing the mission, Blondie wants to stick around and pick a fight, even though she has everything that she needs and she has no reason to consider Sabine a challenge. None of this makes any sense. Sabine knows just how important this map is, and instead of continuing to call for backup or at least letting Ahsoka know that they have the map, she decides to do a samurai pose instead because Filoni is a fucking child. So the fight begins, and we're right where we left off with Kenobi, where the choreography is so bad that it comes off more like a combat-inspired dance routine than a fight scene. Pointless spins, silly poses, and most importantly, a lack of investment, as I barely know either of these two people, and the only thing that I do know for sure is that there's no reason for this fight to even take place. Blondie toys with Sabine after noticing she's crap, and every time she gets into a position to finish her, she either strikes a pose or they cut to Ahsoka, constantly saving her life through the magic of editing. So Blondie goes for one more epic spin, and Sabine just stands there and does nothing. When they want her to have a cool intro scene, she has the reaction time of a Jedi Master. But when they need her to lose a fight, she suddenly sucks. Now, if this was a real story, this could have been a powerful moment where a master arrives just in time to see their apprentice killed and must now take revenge.
What are you gonna do?
What I do best. I'm gonna kill him. Anyone that was involved, anybody who profited from it, anybody who opens their eyes at me.
You kill them all.
But this is Disney, and she has purple hair, so there's no way she's gonna die like this. So the question is, how will she survive this? And just like Caitlyn with Vi, Ahsoka now has to save her life. Will she sacrifice her life to extend Sabine's using some ancient Jedi ability? Can she heal people with the Force like Rey Palpatine? Either way, this is an amazing chance to develop their on-screen relationship and show us exactly what she's willing to do to save Sabine and break this stupid pattern once and for all.
Sabine.
What the hell are you? No!
Fucking nothing. Sabine takes a goddamn nap and she's perfectly fine. No idea how they got her there or what condition she was in. They don't even have the decency to put her in the back to tank. She just sleeps off a womb that would have melted her organs. And another opportunity to see them have a real conversation is wasted, as Ahsoka leaves after finding out Sabine lost everything. And instead of apologizing for stealing the map, or losing the map, or almost getting herself killed, this stupid brat has the nerve to say,
"Wait. You need my help."
No. You've done enough.
a bullshit, wasteful disgrace of a scene. But why is it horribly written? I'll never forget the intensity of this scene on first watch, the emotion in McGregor's voice, and just how badly I wanted that shield to get out of the way so he can fuck up Darth Maul. We all praised it for the epic soundtrack and stunning choreography, but one of the real reasons this scene was so memorable was the consequence of losing a character like Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon Jinn. But now, nothing matters. Death, blaster shots, stab wounds, gravity, everything is completely fucked. And it's scenes like this that remind me why. Some of the most interesting fights in the entire series are the ones that feature non-Force users, and seeing how they adapt to overcome a Jedi. This was your opportunity to show Sabine's skills as a Mandalorian and finally get some character out of her by seeing how she approaches this problem. They already skipped over her analysis and thought process for solving the puzzle, and now they skip this chance to display her skill set and actually show why she's so valuable to Ahsoka instead of just telling us she is. It's like they want everyone to be a Jedi, but they don't ever take the time to construct a logical scene. There was no reason for Blondie to give Sabine time to figure out the map. There was no need for the droid to walk away. Why did they wait for Sabine and not just leave? Why did the droid stand there and watch them fight? Why didn't Blondie just use the Force? Was she just toying with Sabine? And if she was, why would she stab her? Maybe she has Disney Plus, who knows? But it's almost like she knows Sabine won't die.
Are you sure you're up to this?
Like me, this kind of droid is incredibly resilient.
Oh, fuck off, Sabine. The characters are stoic robots, begging for a personality. The plot is a painfully boring video game, the same crap they do in every show. And the dialogue is drier than Tatooine in the summer.
Storm's coming up, honey.
But even I did not expect it to be this incompetent. Vi and Caitlin just met each other in a dirty jail cell, and you can still immediately get an understanding of the dynamic of their relationship. But Ahsoka and Sabine's scenes are so bland and robotic that you would never even guess they have a history together. And for all the people who are going to say that you need to watch Rebels or Clone Wars to understand this show, you shouldn't have to go outside of the story for the story to make any sense. A talented writer can fill the audience in on everything that they need through clever flashbacks or well-constructed exposition. Or you can do it the Disney way and skip over whatever the fuck you need in order to rush to the explosions.
What?
Vi and Sabine are two sides of the same coin. Two impulsive individuals searching for a loved one, but the difference in the quality of their writing is just incredible, and is a great reminder of the difference between soulless, forced, strong female leads compared to a well-written character who happens to be a woman.
When people look up to you, you don't get to be selfish. You say run, they run. You say swim, they dive in. You say light a fire, they show up with oil. But whatever happens, it's on you.
All right, look, Commander, I have my orders. I'm gonna need you to pull over.
Well, here's a new order. Get lost.
I can't watch anymore.